Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I wanted to talk about ship versus ship and ship role combat, but more scaled towards the persistent universe. More specifically, the balance of ships. When a Vanguard rolls up to an Aurora, is it as simple as rock, paper, Aurora, Vanguard, boom? Star Citizen is many levels of game. First-person shooter, hopefully in the future. Trade, space combat. They are all in the verse to be experienced. Ships can be purchased with real money in the form of pledges, currently, but not when the game's released, although you might be able to still get starter packages, worrying some gamers that this might fall into the category of pay to win. But what if I told you that the model that they have adopted for paying for ships before the game's released isn't pay to win, and may actually be a good thing? I know what you're thinking, I'm either mad, a fanboy, or a CIG employee. I may be mad and a fanboy, but I'm not a CIG employee. All of the ships in Star Citizen are pretty diverse. They all have different roles. You do have a series of ships like the Mustangs and Auroras that have multiple variants, and all of them have their own sort of mini specialities or niches that they try to fit, even if it's just slightly more geared towards something like exploration, for example. But in scenarios like Arena Commander, in the persistent universe, sometimes ships will go toe-to-toe. And there are many factors when these ships fight one-on-one. Like the environment where you're fighting, the ship that you're in, literally your hull, what weapons and equipment do you have, if you're in a multi-crew ship, your crews, how skilled are they, how good are they NPCs, are they players, did you get the first shot in, are you stealthing, how good's your signal management, are you getting lucky hits, are you getting critical hits, are you destroying some of their systems with your first or second volley, and your skill and manoeuvring. There's loads of factors involved. But are some ships more innately powerful than others? Well, yes they are, but not in the way you might think. I've played a buttload of Star Citizen, Vandal Swarm, Pirate Swarm, Racing, PvP, Capture the Core, all that jazz, and I found that ships, and this is also the way they're going for, this is the spirit of the game as well, ships are just more specialised in one type of combat than others. That's the idea anyway. So in Arena Commander you'll see that. And conversely, weapons and equipment can entirely change the dynamic of a fight, whatever ship you're in. And this is going to be more true of the persistent universe, where variety is the spice of life, and some ships' primary roles are not a combat one. The Super Hornet is an incredibly weapon-heavy fighter and a great military ship. It does extremely well in Vandal Swarm and like squadron battles, but not so comparably well in battle royales, in my opinion. So why do we see this? Well, it's to do with their suited combat roles. Ships like Gladiuses, or Gladii, what's the plural of that? Avengers are very powerful ships with a good lot of manoeuvrability, as well as the M50. They can mount quite powerful weapons in the form of Omniskies or neutron cannons, and are very fast, nippy, very small, can evade fire very easily. So they can choose to be long or short range based on the pilot's preference. They can also choose when to engage due to their speed and manoeuvrability. This makes them extremely good as lone wolves or skirmishers, and gets them kills and wins in game modes like Battle Royale, or in one-on-ones. One-on-ones they're exceptionally good at. The Super Hornet lacks speed and manoeuvrability, and it can get bogged down in missile fire, or just avoided when you don't want to fight it. It's going to be great in a wing though, or with teammates that can cover it and them. They can use their speed. It doesn't become so much of an issue anymore when you're all covering each other, or protecting something else if you're on the defensive, that sort of thing. But my point is this, the verse is going to be a dynamic, constantly evolving place where you never know what really is going to happen. You have to be reactive. Mustangs are going to be able to kill Super Hornets if they land a few good hits or get lucky. Vanguards pursuing Auroras are occasionally going to crash into an asteroid. But it's more than just fluke and chance. Some ships are just more suited to certain types of combat or multiple roles. That doesn't make them better or worse than other ships necessarily though, they're just more suited to certain things. The M50 and 350R are interceptors and skirmishers. They want to avoid taking damage, pursue fleeing enemies, kill targets of opportunity. Super Hornets are more tanky and bruiser-like, although they do have a massive amount of firepower and good shields. And good health. But they lack speed to decide when to engage and disengage. They work very well for defending or in a wing. It's very much a close support fighter. Auroras are slow but multi-role and not solely about combat, yet they can hold a surprising amount of missiles and firepower. They are a starting ship, and a really good starting ship in my opinion. The Aurora LN is one of my favourite ships too, but I wouldn't suggest it as a long-term solution to a combat vessel if you're going to be a solo player. And again, the Cutlass, very multi-role, but suffers some downsides of being multi-role. It has great firepower, and with multiple crew in the future, it's going to become a lot more effective if you've got multiple crew on yours. But it's a large target for a fighter and has weak points, especially like its neck, that make it a bit of a glass cannon. Ships are balanced for a role. Do they do more than just fight? No ship has everything. Ships also specialise in a variety of different playstyles and combat roles. We don't know too much about ewar at the moment. We know that the Vanguard will be able to participate in it though, it has some form of ewar suite, and maybe the Hornet Tracker will be able to as well. And ewar might really be able to swing battles. It might not. Some ships are going to have massive ewar capabilities and others are going to have just quite minor ones. And we need to see how this all plays out, but we do know there's going to be a lot of variety, and no one ship is going to be able to do it all. Ships will need to work together, or they're going to need to multitask, which is going to make them less effective at certain roles. There are just so many factors, playstyles and weapons, for a ship to be better than another one. Know your ship, know your role, get the equipment that maximises your playstyle, and then if you're playing with a team, which I hope that you are, or hope that you want to, because I think there's a lot of rich variety that goes with that, and a lot of the game about Star Citizen is about teamwork, although I'm sure you could have totally great fun doing a lone wolf thing, or maybe multiple accounts, who knows, but work together and communicate. That's such a major thing in any form of battle that I've seen in Star Citizen at the moment. People that working together and communicating in the team-based modes do exceptionally well compared to those that are unorganised. They just get obliterated. The persistent universe isn't just about combat. There are loads of roles that need to be filled, and ways of making money in the verse, and loads of variations to the norm. The pay for ships pre-game model will allow for a load of diversity once the game goes live. But don't be disheartened by someone spending all of their money, it's like $20,000 on ships. They only have one arse to put in a chair. They only have one set of hands. They might be able to hire NPCs, but they're going to be less effective than actual crewmen. You can crew in those larger ships, or obtain them in-game if you don't want to purchase them beforehand, or if you don't want to crew them. You can get them all in-game. And even if you do obtain them and buy them or whatever, the game is not just as simple as rock, paper, Aurora, Vanguard. If you'd like to know more about the various ships and roles, please check out the description below. We've done an in-depth buyer's guide on a variety of the ships, as well as a ships and roles video that will enlighten you further. All ships are obtainable in the verse without having to pay real money. So all you need to do to really get is a starter package. That will give you access to the game, the beta, give you your Mustang or your Aurora, you have a choice. You can buy another ship or whatever, but I don't see the point in spending loads and loads of money pre-game unless you've got the spare money to support the game. And then in that case, you're very admirable for supporting a game that you love. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to me rant. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help me, and I will see you in the verse.